Thank you very much, gentlemen, and what a game it was, seeing Unicorns of Love come out very strong in the beginning of that matchup, and then as I think it was about 14 minutes, if we looked at the lanes, there was 50 CS differences, 20 to 25 CS differences as well in the mid lane to the bottom, and it really looked like they wanted to focus down onto Maple Street and Dodo a little bit, make sure that composition that got what they wanted didn't get the flourish, didn't get anything. Coming up in the early game, what did you see? Obviously, we saw both of the bottom lanes take the Krugs and the Gromp. What do you think?
We've seen that a little bit in OGN already, where teams were either giving the bottom lane the Krug and the Gromp, or the jungler was starting there. In this case, we've seen they started the Gromp and Krug, and then the jungler started on the opposite side. It basically gives that early advantage to the bottom lane, where they get like halfway to level 2 already. Sometimes we have seen them actually give the AD carry all the EXP, and they get the instant level 2, and that can be really a pain for something like Corki, when it has the Gatling gun and the phosphorus bomb early on.
The thing is, if this starts to get too predictable, we run into a situation where you could theoretically get a delayed invade coming in.
Right.
Because if you're assuming that the other duo is going to be in that same location on the opposite side of the map, well, they could just walk straight into you with their jungler, and you could be in really deep trouble if your jungler's all the way on the opposite side. So we're going to see if this actually develops, I think, as this tournament goes on. But I think the big takeaway here, these teams played scared a lot of the time. Very reluctant to push their advantages. I was keeping track. At 18 minutes, there were no TP plays out of the top lane. Nobody trying to TP bottom. Nobody trying to make a play. Very... disappointingly
passive. The top turret that one time.
But what do you?
Away, right? The minions never do it hit him.
What brings this on for these guys then? Because obviously they play at home, they know each other, they play, but now onto the big stage. Unicorns of Love did make it to the expansion tournament, but that wasn't in front of a crowd. We did just see Lyon Gaming coming off of the Latin America tournament with a gigantic crowd from that arena, and they should be feeling fine on this stage.
I think we can have highlighted that Power of Evil was going to be one of the key players in this. I actually think Vizicachi stood out a lot more in this game than Power of Evil did. They did put an immense amount of pressure on Power of Evil, though.
Yeah,
we seen Thyak was there like 4 times within...
We saw that, and then we also saw the fact that we saw Dodo come up. Yep. That first pink ward clear, he got destroyed by Power of Evil. But then they did it 2 minutes later, and that's when they got their kill back on him.
That's quite controversial, because even though they got that kill, I don't think it was worth it, because we saw Maple Street suffer an insane amount in the bottom lane. He was 2v1
every time he spawned, he would die.
And where was Porky with that teleport coming into the bottom lane?
Yeah.
He needs to... You can see that this team doesn't have a lot of synergy with these substitute players, because there should be better communication. Irelia should be pulling off the wave in the top lane if that Lucian is alone down bottom while Dodo was making the roams. Dodo's roams were very, very sloppy.
Yeah, I think that's like a big issue with them in their early game, because you saw how much pressure Thyak put bottom. He put, I think, like 3 or 4 ganks early, and you want to get that lane ahead, and then the Dodo just left the lane, and they just got crazy behind off that. They fell behind in CS, they got killed, he got killed on his roam. I think that's like really what hurt them there.
So Unicorns of Love, we actually saw it. Jat was saying it was not that great of a push when they were doing it. They shouldn't dive. They did dive the turret. I think that was about 14 minutes as well when they tried to go very hard. They pretty much lost all of their team. What can Lyon Gaming look to get that out of Unicorns of Love? Find those mistakes, put them into those mistakes.
I think that's actually more on Unicorns of Love, just to realize that when you have such an advantage, I think it was like a 10,000 gold advantage.
It was a lot.
You don't like dive a turret like that at that point in time. You create picks around the map. You can even set up for barons or something like that and draw them in, or just siege normally. Don't dive like that against a team that's already behind it. You're going to win the game. Just do it more strategically and more thought out.
Yeah, it was just, they had this very... They were so passive, and then they all of a sudden come up with this big play that was an overextension. And if we kind of rewind back earlier, Corki was 3-0-0. We were like, wow, 14-minute Trinity Force. This guy can go hard. With the fact that Power of Evil was also ahead in the mid lane, all they had to do is group on that power spike, and they would have knocked down 2 turrets instantly. So reluctant to make these plays. I think it's strange to see teams like play this scared.
I think it's going to be different this game, though. I mean, after coming off a win, teams get into like a big spike of confidence. I think their coaches all going to probably talk to them like, "Yo, man, you guys are this far ahead. Like, you got to go hard now." So I think if their coach is like pushing them, like, "This is what you need to do. You need to control Baron." They didn't even touch a Baron until what, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
They didn't even like hit it or even look at it. So I think if they just like get around controlling objectives of like their pings and get picks, like Syndra's an amazing pick champion, and that Gnar was like massive too. So. I think they'll be confident this game.
More objective control coming in for Lyon, and they also need to get those lanes won. Too much CS difference really put them down in the early game. We're going to take a quick break. We do have Game 2 coming up between Lyon Gaming and Unicorns of Love here at the Intel Extreme Masters for some League of Legends action here in San Jose. We'll be right back.